Hey everybody, what is up? It's your friends Kyle and Brian McGill back at you with another What's Up Wednesday. Kyle, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing fantastic. The weather is changing. The holidays and the harvest is in effect. So I'm having a great time. What about you, my friend?
The weather is great. This Indian summer is extended through mid-November. I'll take it. I was out on the boat all weekend. Today we've got a really exciting interview with the Learning Loop, which we'll get into here in just a moment. Kyle, why don't you let's talk a little bit about a really exciting webinar coming up for a lot of our district leadership teams that might want to tune in. Later this week, TJ Hoffman will be going, I would just say, one-on-one with a nice panel of guests, Janice Dingen, Gail McGee, and Vanessa Nieto Gomez from the Houston Independent School District's Career Pathways program. They're using SIBME in some really great ways, helping organize teacher development in the e-portfolios. Don't forget to attend Don't Just Tell Me, Show Me, November 12th at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll put the link into the chat here, but you can see it in the right-hand corner. Kyle, what is it? What have you been learning about this webinar behind the scenes? I know you've been down in Houston. Go ahead.
Yeah, the career pathways. We've been hearing great things from teachers going through that, and not only that, just really developing leaders throughout that program. So TJ Hoffman, who's a great, always putting great work together. So he's putting that panel together. So folks, please be excited about that and make sure you register for that at the link that we provided there.
Excellent. Also, want to remind the folks, we are doing a lot more with our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and click subscribe and the bell, ring the bell to our YouTube channel. You'll get to access all of our What's Up Wednesdays, all of our SIBME Coach replays, and a lot of our content to help you take SIBME, the utilization of SIBME in your program to a higher to a level. Kyle, are we ready for the main event?
We are ready for the main event here. We have a very, very special guest here. We have Allison Rodman, the founder of the Learning Loop education and consulting organization. She is also an ASCD faculty member and the author of Personalized Professional Learning, a job-embedded pathway for elevating teacher voice. She is numerous of great things that's in the works here. So without further ado, we would like to bring on Allison Rodman. Allison, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Kyle and Brian, thanks so much for having me.
Hey, well, Allison, thank you for coming on the show. Kyle, you got our first question. Why don't you take it away?
Yes, definitely. So Allison, with all the great work you're doing, can you tell us about the Learning Loop and your professional learning work?
Absolutely. So a number of years ago, I felt this need to really attend to the adult learners in our educational spaces. So as someone who had worked as a school leader and worked with professional learning as well as curriculum development, I found that time and time again, we were expecting leaders and teachers to engage in very differentiated and personalized ways with students. But then when we approached the design and facilitation of their own learning, we were just completely missing the mark. We were getting stuck in that rut of one size fits all, sit and get PD. And I really wanted to commit to coaching both leaders and facilitators to provide a more personalized approach to that professional learning.
Excellent. That's what the research is saying is best. I think this is what teachers are really looking for. What do you think, Kyle?
Yes, and especially the mark where you said the one size fits all, that we have to kind of change the way that we think about that. And with that, I want to go into our second question here. How can we create a better personalized professional learning?
Certainly. So there are two different ways that I typically approach this. One is to employ Ben Akalik and Allison Zamuta's components of personalized learning that we use with students, but apply them more through an adult learning lens. And those are the ideas of voice, co-creation, social construction, and self-discovery. So we're not just, planning a workshop or planning a staff meeting, having people show up and kind of going through the motions or running down the agenda, so to speak. But instead, we're really hearing their voice at the onset of that planning and inviting them into the creation process so that we're socially constructing that learning together. So that's the first component of it. And the second piece, as we think about personalizing professional learning, is moving beyond this notion that they are one-time or even multiple time events, but instead experiences, true gatherings that we take the time to make sure we've got the guest list right. We're priming learners before they come into those spaces. We're making sure to host really well as a facilitator and create opportunities for those learners to connect together in meaningful and authentic ways and get really messy, rather than, again, just kind of walking through a PowerPoint, having an action planning tool, and then unfortunately walking out the door and possibly not revisiting that learning for several weeks or even several months.
Excellent. And it's, I think that it also kind of slows that learning down so more gets absorbed, right? How is SIBME helping you all kind of take these ideas to personalization of professional learning?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, Brian, SIBME is typically thought of as a teacher coaching tool. And, I have actually kind of not repurposed it, but perhaps reimagined it a little bit in my work with leadership and facilitator coaching. So right now I am utilizing SIBME as a platform primarily for three different types of coaching. The first is working with school and district leaders in their observation processes to help norm, but also build their capacity around observation feedback. So a school leader may go into a classroom, take a video of an observation, but then prior to sitting down with that teacher to debrief, I'm actually stepping into that observation and providing my own sort of external lens on some of the feedback that I might provide that teacher or that I might consider if I were a school leader. So that's kind of the first way that I'm thinking about it. Two, I've been using it for coaching support for instructional coaches. So as individuals who are frequently engaging in coaching conversations with teachers as well as peers, we don't always get the level of feedback that we might like on the flow of our conversation, the way that we're leveraging, different opportunities to kind of move a conversation forward. So for individuals who are comfortable, they have actually been filming their coaching debriefs or, their observation debriefs with a teacher or with another coach. And then I will go in and give them feedback on sort of their conversational moves, if you will. And then the third way that I've been utilizing the platform perhaps most robustly has been for facilitator coaching. So while it's not uncommon in business spaces to hire a speech coach or an event planner, unfortunately, when it comes to our staff meetings or our professional learning, trainings and workshops, both inside and outside of education, we are not utilizing those, coaches for facilitators in the way that we potentially could. So a facilitator might film, one of their workshops or one of their professional learning sessions. And then I would go in and be able to kind of tag parts of that workshop and offer feedback from a facilitator standpoint.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. What features inside SIBME you think make that really happen for you? Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So the one of the features that's just an absolute standout for me right now is the ability to import your own framework or rubric. So as someone who works with multiple districts with all different types of observation frameworks, or quite honestly, has been creating my own frameworks around what it means to be a good professional learning facilitator, I have the ability to input those targets and key indicators into the system and actually tag those specifically for facilitators. And that's where I feel like the power has really ramped up and been incredibly impactful for those individuals.
Oh, the learning loop is running wild with frameworks, Kyle. I like it. I love it. I want more of it. Kyle, what do you think?
No, that's great. And one of the things that you kept mentioning, Allison, is really the ability to um, go into the classroom or in that moment with that either instructional coach or that leader and really have more conversations, more engagement, and within that. Um, I know this is kind of off wing, but can you tell me a little bit more about kind of how you were doing that before, vice versa of now, especially with with 2020? I know I'm kind of throwing you a loop here, but I'm just anxious to know.
Yeah. So it's a great comparison, Kyle. I think many of us were kind of thrown for a loop, right? We had to pivot and figure out what this looks like. So, prior to March of 2020, it would not be uncommon for me to spend a full day with a principal or an assistant principal, and we would go in a series of classroom observations together. We would have some debrief time, and then I may or may not be a co-facilitator in that observation debrief conversation with the teacher. This gives us an opportunity to still get me into those classrooms, even if I can't always get on a flight, and then be able to still kind of coach the leader through what some of the key points of that conversation might be. I think one of the other really powerful pieces of this particular platform is the ability to engage in both synchronous and asynchronous coaching, right? So if a facilitator wants me to be kind of like live in their ear as they're facilitating so that they can make in the move shifts, there's an opportunity to do that. Or if our schedules just don't align because we're working on different coasts or different continents, there's an opportunity for them to either film those observations or conversations or even those workshops, and then for me to be able to follow up afterwards. So in some ways, while it's been hard for us to continue to kind of push forward in some of these professional learning spaces with all of the other challenges that we've been collectively working through, the platform certainly gives us an opportunity to be a little bit more creative in how we purpose time and space.
Wow, so much agility you're able to consult with, right? The Learning Loop because you've taken it online with Sydney. Talk to us a little bit about what you perceive to be next for your work.
Certainly. So one of the things that I continue to observe is adult learners in general, both inside and outside of education, are really struggling with this idea of alignment right now, right? So we may have had some amazing goals set for ourselves at the beginning of the year. Things keep shifting. Our priorities are moving around. And it's been hard to get kind of a grasp back on those goals and position ourselves as we head into a new year. So one of the things that I'm really excited to be doing is to be applying all of my years of work in research and as well as, practitioner application with adult learners to create a digital course that really focuses on those ideas of self-management and alignment geared specifically towards the adult learner. So how do you refocus on your goals? How do you keep things in priority? How do you make sure at the end of the day that you end up with more checks on that checklist than open boxes, right? But that's the first next big piece that I'm working on. And then the other sort of big piece in my work to keep on the lookout for is that I will be publishing a second book that focuses on adult social emotional growth. So that concept of alignment will be one of the components of that book. But similar to how we have very much attended to students' social emotional learning during this time, I want to make sure that we're not overlooking adults in that space as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's very important, especially now with adults, social and emotional learning is especially more than ever now, right? With those teachers and educators. But Allison, and also want to talk about that alignment and goal focusing. We also have that available within the Sydney app if folks don't know about that. But I want to also thank you for your time here with joining us on What's Up Wednesdays. And if folks want to get in touch with you and the Learning Loop, I think we have the link here scrolling down. But if you want to tell us about how we can get in touch with you or any other things that you have shaken besides your new book coming up here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you are more than welcome to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at The Learning Loop. I also have a YouTube channel where I publish weekly videos to kind of get you inspired and keep you thinking about personalized professional learning. And I am also incredibly honored to be one of the featured speakers at ASCD's conference the end of January that focuses on mental wellness for educators. So if you're not signed up for that conference, definitely be on the lookout for that.
Oh, another Simi community member hanging out with the people over at ASCD. Like to see it. Don't forget to do what the cool kids do. Like and follow Allison at the Learning Loop on the Facebook and Instagram. Allison, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate all of your insight that you're sharing with our community. We'll see you out there.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you having me. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Dude, Allison is awesome. So what do you think, Kyle?
I mean,
Personalized
she's really touching all the bases and doing so much, but then also the piece where she mentioned and she's able to really maximize her time and really, especially now, finding new ways to do so and continue on that conversation outside of just that face-to-face, or when she's able to, buy those plane tickets or travel to that space. So make sure y'all go check her out, the Learning Loop. We have that information there. So if y'all want to get in contact with Allison and also purchasing any of her books or any of her written blogs or anything like that, please check her out. She's doing some great things.
Excellent. All right. Okay. It's time for some of our shout outs. Kyle, I'll let you go off and then I'm gonna ad lib some. Go ahead.
Shout out to the folks out in Sugarland, Texas, the Sugarland Music School, who's using the SITME platform to really maximize their outreach of touching students that were really hit with the post-COVID situation, and how to get their students still in the classroom and still have those music teachers engaged with those students. So they actually were able to utilize the SITME platform, and with that, really just keeping them afloat. And not only that, one of our highest engagements that we have utilizing the SITME platform that we've shown here. So I want to give a shout out to them at the Sugarland Music School, and always doing great things. Brian, do you have anything else? Do you have anything else?
Dude, check out. See, this is last week's customer success report. Okay, we're managing our community's engagement. 66% of our engaged accounts really active. Just some surprise. I'll just put up the surprises here. College of Brockport, 68% engagement. Way to go! I think this is like your first semester with us. Okay, real proud of you guys. Let's see here. Azusa Pacific, 107%. How do you get to 107%? I think that there's a large faculty utilizing SITME. That way to go. Pasadena ISD, of course, hanging in there at 85%. Way to go. And then let's see here. Region 6, 70%. Keep it up. And my friends out at Shawnee State, way to go, 60%. Another strong semester with my friends at Shawnee State. Keep it up, guys. Hey, when we see you guys engaged, we're going to be shouting you out. We're invested in you, and we can't wait to see you guys in this awesome activity report. We love you, and you will never walk alone here at SITME. Don't forget, hey, Kyle, this Feature Friday. Don't forget
Feature Friday.
We will be. Was it Kyle? These all get released on YouTube, right?
They get released on YouTube, little short videos of new features that are happening within the SITME platform. We have our screen recording, our live feature, goals feature, best practice video library, a lot of cool things that we have going on in our SITME community. So if you want to get a glimpse of some of the new cool things, please check us out. Feature Friday, dropping every Friday.
Don't forget to come and do what the cool kids do. Like us and follow us at SITME app on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to connect with all of our social media content. We would love to see you out there, see you in the chat, and get the discussion going. Kyle, that's all for me. Any final thoughts?
No, just make sure y'all staying in tune to our content, like us, follow us, and if we always have some great content on our What's Up Wednesdays, our coaching replay, as well as the Corey Camp. So make sure y'all stay in tune. We do have some awesome webinars and events coming up. So make sure you check us out at the learn.sitme.com as well. Some free resources and really glimpse and ways to how you can utilize, SITME on your campus, in your district, or within your organization. So once again, y'all, this is your friends Kyle and Brian McGill here from SITME. I want to thank y'all for tuning in, also as well for our special guest, Allison from the Learning Loop. And make sure y'all tune into us next Wednesday.
See ya.